Hello, hello, it's me, Grace Ashley, the multimedia editor for The Dart, and this is my vlog, I Tried. So for this episode of I Tried, I am going to be watching all of the Twilight franchise, like all of the movies, in one sitting. You may be asking yourself, Grace, why? Why would you do that? And my answer is this. I walked downstairs into my living room last night and the movies were playing on my TV, and it was the first time I had really seen them playing in about 2 years, and they from the few scenes that I did watch, it was something to say the least. And I sat there and I was like, what if I just watched them all in one sitting? That would be really interesting to see how I react to that mentally. And so I did search to see where they were, and it turns out that Amazon Prime has not only the regular versions of the movies, but the extended versions for every single one of them. So that's what I'll be watching. I will be sitting here over the next 10 hours watching the extended versions of these movies. Currently, it's 10:30 at night. It's 10:30 at night right now. So I will not be sleeping. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and pull up the first movie and kind of get started with it. Yeah. Okay. So I just finished the first one. Here are my thoughts. I didn't not enjoy it, but at the same time, I wouldn't say I enjoyed it, like, the most, if that makes any sense. I don't know if it does. It was fine. It wasn't the best, like, cinematic masterpiece that I've ever seen. I think the best way to do this would probably be like pros and cons. So the pros, I would say, of this movie, the color scheme, I loved it. I thought it was so good. Like, the cooler colors and how like the reds and pinks, they pop a lot more, and I really liked how that looked. Let's see, what else? Oh, when Bella is trying to find that book on indigenous folklore, she chooses to not go to Barnes & Noble and like supports a small like local business. I was like, period. I don't know, I saw that and was like, yes. Charlie's whole character, love him. He just wants the best for Bella, and he is anti-closed-mindedness, which I am pro anti-closed-mindedness. I don't know if that made sense. It's really late right now. Hold on, what time is it? It's currently about 1 a.m., so it's a little bit, you know. What else is there pro? I don't know. I guess I did enjoy the movie. But we have to go on to the cons. I will say that there's a kind of like hefty number of cons for me, at least. And I would have to say the top two cons are the fact that they literally were like, I love you so much within like 2 seconds of meeting each other. Did not like that. I always find that incredibly unrealistic. And it's something I tend to really despise about like teen like romance, I guess. I'm more of like a slow burn like kind of person, I guess. I don't know. And then I like hate Edward's like possessiveness. It freaks me out. Like it freaks me out quite a bit. So I'm not a huge fan of that. Like at all. The whole quote where it's like, I like to watch you sleep. No, thank you, sir. I'm gonna have to ask you to step out, please. Not a fan of that. What else? Oh, the acting. I'm gonna say this about the acting. I think that it's acted correctly for how the roles are written. That is not to say that I enjoy seeing, what's her name? Kristen Stewart, is that it? Yeah. Her many facial expressions that are somehow all the same facial expression coming out in rapid fire within like the same 2 words. Like, I don't enjoy seeing that. It's not very good in my opinion, but I think that it's representative of how the script is written, maybe. I'm not really sure. I also don't like the growling and like the hissing. I just, no. I see, when I read books, and there's that kind of stuff, I also dislike it, so it's just a common trend that I'm not really a big fan of. And there's a lot of that in this, but it's also a paranormal romance, so like, what was I expecting? Nothing different. Anyways, I'm gonna give this probably like 4 stars. I'm gonna rate all of them. This one, 4 stars. I'm kind of nervous for the next 2, because I don't remember anything about them. I've seen them before, but they don't exist in my head, so I have no idea what to expect. The last 2 I've seen, and I think I enjoyed those, but I have no idea about the next 2, so on to the next one, I guess. Currently, it is 3:26 a.m. and I just finished New Moon, which is the second Twilight Saga film. And after watching this, I have a few comments. The first of those being, I would rate this 2 stars out of 5. I was literally counting down the seconds until it would end. It was terrible. Well, I don't want to be mean, okay? But it was just not my cup of tea. There was very little plot in this one. It was just like, Edward's gone, like, and now I need to be reckless to feel like I'm still near him, which is like toxic and bad. I don't know. Also, Jacob, I don't like him all that much. What else is there? Also, the fact that, I'm gonna fact check this really quick, but I am pretty sure Taylor Lautner is not a Native American actor. He has distant Native American ancestry. I don't know. I kind of have a little bit of a problem with that. The fact that he's like only distantly Native American is kind of a problem for me. This is supposed to be like representative of Native American culture. I mean, it's such a big part of the franchise, and it just feels really wrong to me that he's more Austrian, Dutch, English, French, German, Irish, and Swiss than Native American. I know that Stephenie Meyer has a lot of like controversy surrounding how she portrays Native American culture as well, especially in her newer book, and it seems to be kind of like a constant theme. She relies pretty heavily on Native American culture, but it's not represented in a way that I would say is respectful enough. I guess, considering the fact that Taylor Lautner only has like distant Native American ancestry, I would say, I don't know, I just have a problem with how, I don't know, I'm sure you catch my drift, but yeah, I had a problem with that. And then I guess with the smaller things, it was so slow. Like, I hate it. Like, it was just not, it's just not good. Oh, the ending was the only solid part. I can't remember. The scene with the Volturi was the most interesting part in the movie, and it took up maybe like 10 minutes. These are literal, like, they're barely adults, and like especially Bella. I mean, Edward's been alive for like something like 108 years, whatever. But Bella is just like, he's the love of my life. Like, I can't do this. Like, girl, you're 18. You fell in love with him after 2 days. This is just some like sick Romeo and Juliet retelling. Like, anti-Romeo and Juliet. So, I'm gonna go ahead and start watching. Oh, we're starting off quick. I don't quite understand what just happened. So this one is Eclipse, I do believe. I know, so I'm gonna go ahead and start Eclipse, the extended edition. I'll update you when I'm done with the movie. Here's the situation. I'm 45 minutes into Eclipse, and I officially really dislike Jacob, because it's been a reoccurring theme, what I'm going to mention here. He can take no for an answer, and that's a really major red flag for me. Yeah. Okay. That's all I have to say. Okay. So, I just finished Eclipse, I believe, the third one. It was better than the second one by quite a bit. I would probably rate this one 3 stars. Let's see. Pros, we got to learn more about Jasper. Love him. He seems kind of chill. Worried for him. Love Carlisle. I mean, who doesn't? What else is there that's positive? This one had more plot, which I appreciated. Like with the whole like army thing going on, that was good, and we got more about the Volturi. Learn more about them. They're insane and stuff. I don't know. Dakota Fanning's character, Jane, is more significant now, I guess. So that's exciting. Edward and Bella are officially engaged, which is nice. Yeah. Negatives, Jacob's whole character. Literally, he can't take no for an answer, like I said earlier. Really big red flag for me. I just don't really like his character all that much. I don't know. He's like 16 and like whiny, and I just can't deal with that. I'm really tired. It's 6 a.m. right now, so it's morning. I haven't slept. I have a test in 6 hours, and I'll be spending 4 of those hours watching the last 2 movies for Twilight. So, yeah, I'm gonna get into it, so maybe I can get like an hour of sleep. I just finished Breaking Dawn Part 1. It's currently 8 a.m. See, this is difficult, because I would say that this was objectively better than the middle two. I would also say maybe on par with the first one, which would make it the rating, 4 stars. But the main problem I have with this movie is the fact that Jacob imprinted on Renesmee, who was an infant. And see, no. Just to put it nicely, I'm gonna say no to that. The cinematography and the color scheme, A+. Gorgeous movie, except for the CGI, baby. It was bad. Ugly. Yeah. Something about the pacing of these movies is so interesting, because they're so like fast-paced, but at the same time insufferably slow. I've never experienced anything remotely like it. It's truly incredible to behold. One more thing I have to comment about, and it's Bella's transformation into a vampire, and I just really, as I was watching, I find it so funny that her transformation came with eyeshadow. I don't know, I think that's all I really have to say about this movie. So next I'm gonna watch Breaking Dawn Part 2, and I'm gonna go to sleep for an hour. Okay, so I officially finished Breaking Dawn Part 2. It is morning, as you can see by this natural light coming through my window. My thoughts on Part 2. I would probably rate it like 3.5 stars. Thought it was pretty good. The ending, though, kind of got on my nerves, because, I don't know, it was a happy ending, which is like, oh, it's nice, I guess, but kind of boring. I still think that the imprinting thing is really strange. It's really strange. And I know it ends in like a romantic relationship because of that vision that what's-her-name had at the end. And I can't, no. I would say overall, for the entire like series of movies, it's not the best. It's really not. There are a lot of places where I found pretty like substantial issues, whether that's the portrayal of indigenous communities, using, you know, actors who are more white than indigenous, or just the writing of the actual movies and how a lot of the plot points that should have been introduced earlier were introduced a lot later, while plot points that were introduced a lot earlier should have been introduced a lot later. It was kind of like a few of them were mixed up, especially with that vampire council. I'm never gonna remember the name. It's just how it is. And then there's the matter of the imprinting, which I have a problem with, considering it does develop into a romantic relationship eventually. So I do want to say thank you so much for watching. If you did watch this all the way through, kudos to you. Really. I don't really know why anyone's interested in my perspective on this series, but thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.